This video is for Emily Ploch for E. Brajas Math 150 class, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 7:15 a.m. The problem I'm doing is Chapter 5, Section 2, problem number 45. It's a multiple part problem, and you're given a table with totals of personnel in the Navy, Army, Air Force, and Marines, and then you're also given the portion of the Army or Navy Marines that are officers, and then the portion that are just enlisted, and their totals are on the bottom and sides. The total of all is 1,478,672. So it says, the following table represents the number of active duty military personnel by rank in the 4 major branches of the military. Completes parts A through D. If an active duty military personnel is selected at random, what is the probability that the individual is an officer? So what you want to find out the probability of that an officer is selected out of all active duty military personnel, you will divide the total number of officers, which is 246,053, which we got from the chart up above. So you have officers right here, the total number of officers, and then you're going, since it's all active duty military personnel, you're going to divide by the total, which is right here. And when you divide those two, you get 0.166. Part B, if an active duty military person is selected at random, what is the probability the individual is in the Navy? So now we want to find the total of people in the Navy. So you go up here, go across, that's the total in the Navy, so that's 302,228, and you're finding it out of all active duty military personnel. So once again, you're going to pull that total down here. When you divide those two numbers, you get 0.204. Part C, if an active military personnel is selected at random, what is the probability that the individual is a Navy officer? So now we're just going to find the total Navy officers in the population. So you have Navy, and then you have officers, so that's 44,168. So we're going to divide that by the total number of active duty military personnel, which is once again 1,478,672. When you divide those, you get 0.03. So the probability of an officer in the total population is 16.6%. The total of Navy in the total population is 20.4%, and the total of selecting a naval officer out of the total population is 3%. This last part asks, if an active duty military person is selected at random, what is the probability that the individual is an officer or is in the Navy? The equation for P of F or E is P of F or E is equal to the P of F, the probability of F plus the probability of E minus the probability of F and E, since or is exclusionary of both. So first, you want to take the probability of F. So we'll say the probability of F is that they are an officer. So we just pulled that from down up here because this is the same equation, probability that they're an officer. Now you're going to add the probability that they're in the Navy, which is right here. So you pull that down and add those two together. And then you're going to subtract the probability that they are in the Navy and they're an officer, which is this equation right here. When you add these equations together and subtract, you get 504,095 over the total population. So then you'll just divide those two and you get a probability of 0.341 or 34.1% chance of selecting an officer or a Navy personnel out of the total population.